Let's take a closer look into each of the components. And starting from the edge. So essentially we have lots of these end systems running applications at the edge. Two very dominant examples, web and email. So for example, this guy here, a laptop. This guy here, a server. Okay, usually server are higher end machines having more computation power or higher amount of storage. So web browser will be talking to a web server requesting for a web page. Okay, so that is called client-server model application, where the client requests for services and receive services from the server. And you see that the expectation of these servers are that they run all the time, 24/7. And that's why these servers need to be higher end machines, having more computation power, having higher amount of storage, and have more reliable internet connection. Okay, so as we mentioned, web browser here, web server here. Now, some of the pairs could be running email, then you have email client, which is typically the email reader, and then there'll be email server. So these email servers usually you don't get your hands on, okay, you don't see them. Just like the web server, you don't typically see a machine, okay, physically that is a web server. There's another way of communicating the end systems, the applications running out of the end system, that is called the peer-to-peer model. Okay. The idea there is to get away without this, always on server. Now, imagine, right? Setting up a web server yourself and allowing thousands and maybe millions of clients in the world to access your web server. You do need a lot of what? Money, right, to maintain it. But some applications might be more grassroots effort, where you don't want to be able to afford servers and yet you still want to be able to exchange data. Yeah, that is what the designers of these peer-to-peer applications are thinking. Let's minimize the use of high-end dedicated servers. And instead, why don't we, right, smartphone, laptops, desktops, laptops, just, connect directly as peers, one to another. So there do exist several of these peer-to-peer applications. Skype is one example. BitTorrent, I'm sure that some of you have used it before, is a very dominant example. It's still very popular now. And besides these two, there's one example that you might go, oh yeah, that's right. It's called the Bitcoin or cybercurrency. So that blockchain allowing the cybercurrencies to track itself is a peer-to-peer network. So there's no particular server. That is the whole idea of having these virtual currencies. Okay? Instead of having a central bank to overlook everything, to track, record everything, to monitor any of the currency exchange, virtual currency, Bitcoins, it's completely distributed. It's peer-to-peer.